First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth. And shout out to Yakim that's out there in the four corners of the earth, going out there and teaching and risking your lives to do so, as we are definitely seeing more false flags come off. And I just got this from RT this morning. UK schools on lockdown after threats to mow down children received. So we got another false flag here in the UK, which is part of the beast. British schools across the UK are on lockdown after threats of terrorist attacks against children were received. Around 12 institutions in London, Devon, Cornwall, and Durham have received the threat. And of course, they are pledging allegiance to ISIL, right? Make you think that the ISIL group exists, right? Okay, that's to divert our attention to what's really going on in Syria, because look, Assad's winning the war, right? Check this out. Okay, so listen to that. Suicide vest grenades seized as nearly 20,000 militants and families leave East Ghouta, Russian MOD. And so Russian military confiscated more than 20 suicide vests and nearly 300 grenades during recent evacuations from the Erbil settlement in Syria's eastern Ghouta. In 4 days, more than 19,500 militants left the area. So you see, what's happening is they're cleaning this area up. So they got to, convince us that ISIL's still out there, right? Even though you can see, though, that this is very much cleaned up. The evacuees were moved from Syria's Idlib province from the besieged enclave. The defense military said on Wednesday some of the militants attempted to leave the area still carrying weapons and explosives, as Russian and Syrian officers said the sieged 8 suicide vests and some 280 grenades on Tuesday. The very same day, some 100 buses packed with militants and their relatives left for Idlib. So, again, that's what's going on there, right? But we're being bombarded with this ISIL and everything else, right? So we're supposed to believe that this group is still very active. And then take a look at my channel here, Confusion to Face Reading 2, which is where the longer ones are. Fake book exposed in latest events is one of the ones. And then I also did another one here. These are the longer length videos, which you can only catch on the Confused to Face Reading 2 channel. Do you remember 2013? Alex told you about the guns, and I'll play you a little clip because it's really about gun control, but this is in 2013, so we got 2013 all over again. It's deja vu. Wait a minute. They tried to do this during the Obama administration, right? Okay, so let's take a look here at an old clip. This is from Piers Morgan, and Morgan big time loses the debate here. So let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Did it as a way to bring attention to the fact that we have all of these foreigners and the Russian government, the official Chinese government. Mao said political power goes out of the barrel of a gun. He killed about 80 million people because he's the only guy that had the guns. So we did it to point out that this is globalism, and the mega banks that control the planet and brag that they've taken over in Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, you name it, brag that they're going to get our guns as well. They've taken everybody's guns but the Swiss and the American people. And when they get our guns, they can have their world tyranny while the government buys 1.6 billion bullets, armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predator drones, armed, now in U.S. skies, being used to arrest people in North Dakota. The Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. Take the women in India. Your piece earlier on CNN I was watching during Anderson Cooper's show didn't tell you that the women of India have signed giant petitions to get firearms because the police can't and won't protect them. The answer is, hey, wait a minute, I have FBI crime statistics that come out a year late, 2011. 20+% crime drop in the last 9 years. Real violent crime, because more guns means less crime. Britain took the guns 15, 16 years ago, tripling of your overall violent crime. True, we have a higher gun violence level, but overall mugging, stabbings, deaths, those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod 4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? And that's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna. My family.
So, anyhow, Alex defended that, and so we're going to skip over here to another part of the video, which I think that you'll find very interesting, because, of course, I have, why aren't people trying to ban Predator drones? Why aren't they trying to say, hey, in the war in Yemen, in the war in Syria, in the wars, they're not. But let's see what Predator drones do. Yeah, let's just see, why they aren't trying to ban Predator drones. Look at the shit that happened in Libya because of the United States, the whore, Babylon the Great. But you want to talk to me about fucking Parkland shooting. But you see, that's the hypocrisy of the whore Babylon the Great. If you don't come to democracy, democracy will come to you. And Libya suffered a horrible fate that year. But everybody wanted to talk about Benghazi scandal. Well, of course, if you serve this fucking government, you're just expendable. You are the Expendables. Stallone did 3 movies called The Expendables. So as we get into the birthrights of Esau Edom, we know Teman's one of the sons of Esau, so I'm just going to read out of Obadiah here, because this is the hypocrisy of United Socialist States, which is pretty much Idumea now, and we know that, Amalek, the deep state, runs America as well as the Israeli state, and so, how hypocritical is it, that you're talking about how... they got to march for their lives, but yet they don't think twice about, the war against Yemen and the war against Syria, which has been happening a long time. They took out Libya. They took out Iraq. They took out Egypt's leader. That was a combined effort. Remember that? And then Egypt, which is, of course, the Arabs now, they marched to get it back. But, they had Mohammed Morsi in there, and, he pretty much had put everything under Sharia law, right? But, and that was all part of the United States, Obama administration, right? But, anyhow, how hypocritical is that? I don't see any move to ban Predator drones, and look at how many lives have been murdered. Look at how many children get killed all the time. I could talk about how many bombs have been dropped on schools in Syria and in Afghanistan, countless fucking wars. But there's no march or protest against that, right? They don't protest what they do unless it's one of the other areas, like in Europe, which is the beast area. In the EU, you have marches and protests against these wars, but they're very small in numbers. They don't get the media coverage like, this March for Their Lives did. So anyhow, I'm just going to read out of Obadiah chapter 1, verse 9. And the mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end, that everyone on the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence is against thy brother Jacob. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. That's right, because we're going to kill you motherfuckers one by one, and we're going to enslave the rest of y'all. You're going to fucking pay for what you did, And, there's no escaping this, and that's why you're scared. That's why you're trying to get us off the streets. That's why you're flagging our videos and taking them down, because we have the true breakdown of this. In that day, the should stoodest on the other side in the day that the strangers carried away captive and forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou wast as one of them. And again, they because they're the same people. The Edomites, who was the Roman Empire of that time, because they had kicked out all the original Romans. They had taken over Greece and Rome, and so they had taken over the temple, Jerusalem. They took over Jerusalem, and then Jerusalem ain't just a place, but it's a people. We're those people very much now. But thou should have not looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldst thou rejoice over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. And, pretty much that's what Esau had done. Always talks about how great this place is, which is pretty much because they put, our people in captivity. I'm going to jump down to verse 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. And again, that's another thing. Why is Syria seem to be the last country standing besides Iran? Why is last? Because, we just go back to the verses. Thou shalt not adhere a Syrian, which they have it mixed up saying thou shalt not adhere an Edomite. Syria was our brother, man. And that's why they're getting fucked up now by the same people they made a deal with. The Edomites are fucking them up now. Why? Because they want control of that land, because they want to weaken Iran with an attack on Syria to pretty much take out and control all the oil there, the oil reserve currency, because, of course, we know that the businesses are dying over here. But, we're going to put those Edomites in slavery, I'm going to eventually try to find Strongs, here, but... And so I'll jump down to verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. That's right, we're going to take it all back. There's a transference that's about to happen here, and we're going to take it all back. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So again, Esau's going down for everything that they have done, and you can see that, though, you can see how hypocrite they are, that they'll, and of course we know it's government propaganda control. They'll do whatever the government says, and it's really not about saving lives, it's about taking lives, because that's what they're doing in Syria, that's what they've been doing in Yemen, that's what they've been doing in Ukraine, these same people. And that's what they did to our people. So again, verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zephaniah or Zephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south. The savers shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So again, we are pretty much going to. For right now, we're just prophesying against Mount Seir, but eventually we're going to be taking them captive, putting them into captivity. All these nations are going into captivity for what they had done, and they shouldn't have laughed at our stubble, but they still want to keep this lie going. But we're coming out on the streets and proclaiming this truth, and that's why they want to shut it down, because they know that all this is about to take place. So I hope this has been edifying, and just, like everything else, we're going to keep pushing this word out till we can no longer do so. Shalom. Brakatah to all of you out there.